so we are waiting for someone called Claire, and we are waiting for someone called no, wait, Claire. Oh, there's two different Claires in our class. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, it looks like we have two different Claires. Okay, so we are going to get started without them, because for the beginning we're just going to be doing. Oh, looks like who just joined? Two Marcuses? Why do we have two Marcuses? Everyone join the. Did you guys get the link for the Google Classroom? Just react with a thumbs up if you got the link. Can you guys go to the email that I sent? There should be a link that you received.
What's a Google Classroom?
Do you see the email that I sent with the Zoom link? We have Claire now. All right. All right. So, did you? I think I think your parents might have gotten it. All right. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna send the link in chat. Actually, that'll work out. If everyone can check the Zoom chat, I'm sending a link. If you click on that link, you should be entered into our Google Classroom. It might ask you to sign in with Google. If it does, then just sign in with Google. This is where we have Valentina. All right, that's great. And we have Matt the Hat, which I assume is Marcus because he had the Walter profile.
Hey, are you saying? Do you want this?
No.
What are you asking them for?
Google Classroom.
Oh.
Where everyone else start filing into the Google Classroom. Once you get in, I can explain a bit more, but you have to actually be in to see the things. For now, Valentina and Marcus, since you two are in, you guys can head over to classwork or stream. There's a little tabs you see at the top, and there you're going to be able to see the workbook and the textbook. That's going to be what we're working with for the duration of the course. The textbook is more of like the stuff that we are learning from, and the workbook would be problems to help us practice what we have learned. And we're gonna start off. I'm not sure if you guys already have this. If you don't, feel free to, because we're not doing any problems which require you to. We're not doing like geometry yet, where we actually need the diagram. I'm probably just going to share my screen, and then you guys can just work on paper. So I'll give you guys a few minutes to get into the Google Classroom and then get some pencils and some paper ready. And on that note, I will start screen sharing, and we are going to shortly start our lesson. Let's see, so many windows open. It's crazy. Okay, here we go. All right, great. So this is our, this is what I'm going to be teaching with. And we are going to start after everyone gets into the Google Classroom. Alan seems to have joined. Yeah, so we are, who are we waiting for? Claire and Alex, can you two, are you guys having troubles? Are you guys having trouble entering the classroom?
I have a device that won't allow me to go into Google Classroom.
All right. We can figure that out later, because we don't actually. You don't need to be in the Google Classroom at the moment. It's just a lot easier because let's say that I told your parents the homework, right? And you forgot what the homework is. Well, then you have to go ask them, and they have to go find an email, right? It's really complicated. So it's just easier for us to use the Google Classroom because. Once you do get in, you'll be able to just like click on stream and then instantly see what the homework for the week is. Don't worry, I won't be giving too much homework. And on that note, we do not actually need the Google Classroom today because as long as you can see my screen share, then we will be fine. So to start off, I am going to assume all of you know what we're going to be doing today. It is the easiest stuff ever, but please bear with me because we need to start with this stuff. We're going to move through it very quickly, do not worry. But we're going to be doing really easy stuff, and then we're going to move on to some pretty difficult stuff later on. Starting off, we are going to, I'm just going to ask a question. All right, so for those watching my screen share, this is going to be our first question, sort of. It's just an intro to our lesson, and I'm going to tell you guys how it's applicable later. And don't start solving it because I need to. All right. Sorry, I have to keep it in proportion. Keep in mind that if you are on the Google Classroom, or if you already have the textbook open, you can find this. We are working on whole numbers, place values, which is an easy section, but we're going to have to do this because we want to get everything through everything in order. So throughout class, we are going to usually start off. I'm just going to tell you guys what we're going to be doing in class. We're going to go over the homework from the previous week. Obviously, this is the first week, so we do not have homework yet. And so today we're going to skip that segment because there's no homework to go over. I'm going to explain any questions you're having trouble on, etc., etc. And then we're going to start our lesson, right? So this would be today's lesson. So I would like everyone to start off by in the chat. Does everyone have access to the chat function? In the chat function, I would like you to click on to everyone, right? Because that's like who you're sending a message to. I would like you to send it to me only because it's like an answer that I only want to see. And I'd like everyone to answer this first question, which should be easy. You can just count it more or less. So can everyone answer the first question and send it into my chat? Just to repeat the question, this block right here is made up of unit cubes, and the question is, I can't find the word here. And the question is, how many unit cubes are there? All right, so Ellen, that is correct. Is it correct? Okay, so I'd like to say it this way. That is the answer at the end, right? You're taking into account the second picture, which is like how much each unit cube is worth. But the question itself is how many unit cubes there are, right? So yeah, so this is the first thing that I'm going to go over. So we have replies from, just going to make sure everyone replied. So I'm going to open up this chat actually. God, how do I use this? Bear with me. Okay, so Alan, Alex, Claire, Marcus, Claire, Valentina. I don't think you answered yet. All right, so yeah, Alan is correct. Yeah, so here we have to make our first distinction, right? This is just terminology, words that we're going to be using. The question is how many unit cubes are there? Sorry, the pen's lagging. Oops, sorry for that. Sorry about that. Yeah, so the question is how many unit cubes are there? And this is 10,000 unit cubes and this is 1,000 unit cubes, right? So in this, if you look at the unit cubes as in this big of a thing, right? If this is our unit cube, then we would have 200, which you guys got correctly, right? But if you take into account the second photo, we can clearly see that this is that each of these cubes is 10 by 10 by 10, right? So 10, and for multiplication, I'm going to be writing a dot. I'm not sure if you guys know about that, but we write with dots usually for math as multiplication because an X is just too complicated. It's, too much work, right? So 10 times 10 times 10 for a single one, and then it's by 10. And then over here, it's by 10. And then at the end, we have 2 this way. And so we get 200,000, which is correct, right? And this is just to go over place values, right? So when we do solve this finally, we have 2, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And once again, assuming you guys know this, but we have 100,000s, 10,000s, thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones. Okay, and now I'm going to pull up a set of free questions. And oops, not in this mode. Yeah, I'd like everyone to quickly send me the answers to these questions just to make sure you understand place value. We're going to be skipping through a lot of the earlier sections because they're quite easy. I just want to make sure everyone understands them. So just quickly in chat, send me the answers to these questions. All right, thank you, Valentina. How do I reply to you? All right, great. Valentina, very nice. 70,505. 2. All right, that's great. Well, I'm waiting for one more answer. And then we can move on. Okay, great. So moving on, I hope everyone understands this. I'm going to now go over something that isn't actually math, all right? I'm going to be going over something that isn't math, but is still very helpful. Now we are going to be learning about millions, all right? Oops, not even using my pen. Okay, so millions. Now, everyone here, I assume, would know what a million is, right? So 1 million would be 100,000,000. So, does anyone know what a billion is? It would be 1,000,000,000,000. Now, you can notice how a billion is a million, but you add 3 more zeros. Okay, so this is a billion. Now we go to a trillion. This would be 1,000,000,000,000,000. But all of a sudden, at the end, we add more zeros. So as you can see, the pattern is, actually, I don't like the way this is written. Give me 1 second, actually. We're going to change it to this so you can clearly see us adding zeros. But does anyone know how many wheels a bicycle has? Just send me that in chat. How many wheels does a bicycle have? Believe me, yeah, exactly. A bicycle has 2 wheels. Yeah, everyone should know this. Now, how many wheels does a tricycle have? A tricycle has 3 wheels, right? So, believe it or not, the words that we use to call numbers higher than 100,000, million, billion, trillion, they are all actually based off the kind of the amount of numbers, right? So a million comes from mono, I believe, which means 1. For example, a mono, whenever people talk about those little monocles, like the little glasses that like old people wear, that has 1 eyepiece, right? So this is like what the monocle looks like. And then they just hold it up to their eye to help them see through. From billion, that's from bi. From this, we have bicycle, right? 2 wheels. From trillion, we have tricycle, right? Tri. And then also like there's trio and all sorts of other things. Now, does anyone want to guess what the next number would be for 1,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000? Does anyone want to guess what this would be called? So it's illion, but what illion? What do you think this would be? So this isn't actually in the curriculum, but I just want to teach it because I think it's pretty interesting. What do you guys think this would be called? We have million, billion, trillion. All right, so Alan, that's actually pretty close. So you went with quadro. Now, quadro, yeah, that it's actually really close. The answer is quadrillion. Yes, also good job, Alex. Yes, the answer is quadrillion. Now, can anyone think of anything related to quad? Yes, of course you can. Now, we actually have muscles in our thighs, right? We have four muscles, so we call it our quad. So let's say you did some working out and now your quad hurts a lot. Why does your quad hurt a lot? It's because you have four muscles there and that's why you call it your quad. And then moving on, we can actually go even higher. Alien, there's too many zeros for me to write out. I would get really tired. But like, if we write out all these zeros, it becomes quintillion. Quint meaning 5. Wait, why did I write 2 I's? I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, quintillion. I forgot the I. The I goes here. Oops, my bad, sorry. Yeah, so it would become quintillion. And then quintuplets is when someone has 5 children. So this is just a helpful little thing. So if you ever see a big number, you can try to think like an octillion. Octillion, does anyone want to guess how many zeros we would have behind it? Claire, you can unmute and just ask me a question.
I think it would be 8.
That's not how many zeros it would be, though. Octillion is 8. You are correct. Octillion is 8. See, an octagon, 8 sides. A octopus has 8 arms. But how many zeros would it have? This is a little question that I want everyone to think about. How many zeros do you think it would have? Alex, that's pretty close, but it is not it. Think about it. A million a million can be taken as 1, right? We can think about this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then octillion would be 8. And a million has, good job, Alan. The answer is indeed 27. Now, Claire. Okay, Claire, you got the question wrong, but it's great because you made the most common thing because you knew what to do, but you missed a small trick, which I would like to point out now. But yeah, good job anyways, because you did 8 times. So you took this number, 8, you multiplied it by 3 and you got 24, right? But you have to also realize that they start with these extra things, right? So we have millions, but before we even go to millions, we have thousands first. And thousands are the first set of zeros. So this is just a helpful little trick. If you ever want to figure out how many zeros becomes a number, you can take the amount of zeros. You take the amount of zeros and then you can divide it by 3. So this would become 1, this would become 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you can subtract 1. You subtract 1 because of the thousands. You cannot forget the thousands. So this becomes 0. Ooh, sorry. This becomes 0. This becomes, how does this keep happening? Why does my pen hate me? 0, 1, 2. Alex, go ahead. 3, 4, and
What's bigger than octillion?
there are, yeah. So after 8, what would come next? What happens after an 8? I'm not asking for the word. I'm asking for the number. What's after 8?
9.
Exactly. Now, do you know what 9 is? Anyone know? All right. So 9 is actually non-million. And believe it or not, we can go even higher. After 10, we have decillion. And then from decillion, we actually get decimal. From DEC, this prefix, we get decimal. And the word decimate, has anyone ever heard someone use the word decimate? A lot of people actually use the word decimate wrongly. This is a little history lesson, and I'm sorry for going on so much of a tangent, but it's actually really interesting.
What is 11?
I'll cover that in 1 second. I just want to go over decillion because I think it's really interesting. The word decimate, right? A lot of people use the word decimate as a substitute for destroy. For example, they would say, Bob was really hungry, so he decimated the hamburger, right? And what they're trying to say is that Bob ate the entire hamburger, that's what they're trying to say. But what do we know about dec? Well, we know it means 10. So believe it or not, decimate actually means to destroy 1/10. So if you decimate a burger, you only ate 1/10 of it. That's just an interesting thing. So if someone ever says decimate and they use it wrongly, now you know how you're supposed to say it. Now, I think that was Alex asked a wonderful question. What happens if we go even higher? What happens if we go to 11? Well, if we go to 11, we have decillion, which is 10, but we add 1 to it. So it becomes undecillion. Meaning 1. For example, uno is 1 in Spanish. 12 is 10 plus 2. So it's decillion, but plus 2. So it becomes duodecillion. And then 13 becomes decillion, but we add 3. So it's, I don't know this for sure. So I think it's tredecillion, but don't quote me on this. I think it's this. I'm not sure I don't know for sure, but just another quick math problem. How many zeros would duodecillion have? Send it in chat. How many zeros would duodecillion have? Excellent. Good job, Alex. We do have 39 zeros indeed. And it is such a long number. I would be writing zeros for an entire day and we would not finish class because I'm just writing zeros and I cannot do that. So moving on. Everyone understands what a million is, right? And now we are going to move on to our first large set of problems. If anyone has the textbook open, because they're in the Google Classroom, you just go to page 8. We're on practice 1A. I'm going to send the problems here one by one, but it might take me a while because I have to move them bit by bit. So our first set of problems, we're going to call it practice 1A, and excellent. Practice 1A. So we're going to start off by doing some questions to review figures. These should be easy. Then we are going to, you can send these answers. I don't want to get because keep in mind, there's quite a few students, right? And if you all send each question, each answer as a single message, I'm going to get so many messages. I can't handle that much. So I would really appreciate it if everyone answers a whole set in a single one. For example, here, you could write 1A and then write your answer, and then 1B and then write your answer, 1C, write your answer, and then send it in one big message. I would really appreciate that. It helps me handle it. So yeah, the first set of questions, just write these in numbers. Figure and number can be used interchangeably. And after we do that, you're going to have these questions, which are about place value. We're going to skip the word ones because they're kind of interchangeable. Alan, so your answer is correct, but can you send it in one message along with the rest of the questions in one? So send all of these in a single message, because if everyone sends, yeah, same with you, Valentina. You guys both have the correct answer, and Alex, you guys all have the correct answer, but can you send this in one message, because it's difficult for me to keep track of all of this stuff. So just solve all of them and then send them all at once, because that way I can check it quickly without having to go back and forth, because that gets really complicated. Thank you. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you very much. Thank you, Alan. That's greatly appreciated. See, now I can just quickly check it. Alan, there was a slight mistake in your second one, but I think it was an accident, because it's not that you got the place value wrong, you just typed the wrong number, I'm pretty sure. So good job, Alan and Marcus. And you guys can start working on the next one. After that, we are going to move on to this. And then when everyone finishes the first section, I'll scroll down. If you need help on any question, just feel free to ask. Thank you. Wait, what? Oh, yeah. Thank you, Alex, and thank you, Valentina. Very good job. Claire, can you send me the answers to your problem? Valentina, this is in the textbook. We will use the workbook a bit later, but for now we're in the textbook. I'd recommend using both my screen share and the textbook, because how do I say this? Because we're not doing all the problems, because I know you guys understand this stuff. This stuff's easy. I'm just making sure that you guys understand it. So I'm just doing a few questions. So you can just like watch my screen share. Yeah, so seems like everyone's done with the first one. So we're moving on to the next section. We are waiting for Valentina. You have a few questions on that. You can finish that quickly, and then thank you, Claire. Yeah, so Claire, it is the 100s. All right, you are correct. It's the 100s, but there's 8, so it becomes 8 100. So it's 800. You guys are getting close to the end, so I'm just gonna quickly send a few more. Let's see. What did we just do? We just did patterns. Okay, excellent. All right, yeah, actually, so after this, I believe we are going to do exercise 1 here. Great. Yeah. All right, so Alex, can you never mind, I will send this privately. Great. Okay, we're waiting for 2 more people. After this, we are going to move into our workbook. We're going to do a few questions in the workbook, and then we're going to start a different chapter. Excellent job, Marcus. Good job, Alex. All right, Claire. I'm going to see if I can send this to you to work. Ooh, that was paste, not copy. See if I can send an image. I cannot see an image. That is quite obnoxious. All right. That's fine. I'll figure this out somehow. Just give me 1 second, guys. Sorry. Okay, so we're now going to move into our workbook. Anyone who has the Google Classroom open, you can move into Singapore Primary Mathematics 5A workbook.pdf. We're going to be on page 4, right? We are not going to do all of this because it's quite a lot. Some of this is going to be for homework. Most of this you guys didn't have trouble on, so I'm just going to choose a few specific things. This is going to be called work. Right now it's called exercise. Exercise 1. All right. So this is going to be our question. Okay. Now the way I want you to write these, because I got to make sure which is which. This is going to be 1A. This is 1A. This is 1B. This is 2A, and this is 2B. So I'd like you to send me the answers to all of these in a single batch. All right, so Alex, Marcus, okay, everybody pause. So I've gotten some answers, and you guys don't have wrong answers, but you're doing the wrong question, right? So the question that you're answering, you're doing it correctly, but you don't understand what the question is, right? So the question is not actually to tell me what the greatest number is, it is to make the greatest number. For example, if the digits were 4, 7, and 8, the answers would not be, I emphasize, it would not be 8 and 4. It would not be 8 and 4. Good job, Claire. That is the correct answer. The correct answers here would be 874 and 478. I want you to make a number with all of these digits, and I want you to make the biggest possible one and the smallest possible one. I'm not just asking for like which one's the biggest and which one's the smallest. Do you guys understand that? Once again, if you have any questions, just feel free to ask. If you're confused about anything, feel free to ask. Marcus, that's correct. I think you read this as a 5 instead of a 6, but yeah, this is a 6, just making sure. Good job, Valentina. Good job, Claire. Good job, Marcus. Thank you, Alex. Yeah, very good, Alex. All right. I think that Alan's still finishing typing up his, but yes, I knew it. Yes, Alan just sent his. Excellent. All of them are good. All right, Marcus. Yeah, Marcus just has a few left till it'll be done, and then we are going to move on to something else, which should be quite interesting. Okay, I'll start pulling that up. So I hope you don't mind. Hope you don't mind that, Marcus. I'm going to send you the digits just so you can remember what they are. These are the digits. They're in the chat. And yeah, you got it. You got it. I know you got it. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure I didn't move on behind. So the next section of what we are going to do is, why did I name it group 1? I am crazy. Okay. We are now going to be moving on. We're no longer in our workbook. We're back to our textbook. We're to approximation and estimation. All right. Now, what does this mean? What does this section tell us to do? Well, this is going to be very helpful in like your actual life, because some things in math, let's be honest, they're not going to be that helpful. But what we're going to be doing here is actually really important. So let's just say that 4,865 people watched a badminton match. I don't know why you would watch badminton. I don't know why this many people would watch it. I'll be honest. Not my favorite sport, but you know what? This many people want to watch the match. They can feel free to do so. I don't go. It's fine. Yeah. So now, what's my question? Well, what I'm asking you guys is how many people is this about, right? If your friend asked you how many people watched it, you wouldn't be like 7,642 people watched it. You would be like around 7,500, right? Give it an estimation. I want to see what everyone's going to estimate for this. Like about how many people watch this. All right. I like those answers. Alan, I like how you said 4,900 and then you corrected to adding people at the end. I've had teachers who, if you don't label the units of a question, they'll take points off. Like if the question is Bob has 50 meatballs and he gives 20% to John. If you write and then the question is how many meatballs does John have, and if you write John has 10. If you just write John has 10, then he would actually take the points off because he's like, oh, you must have units. You have to write 10 meatballs. But yeah, great job, everyone. So I like all your answers, but now we are going to be more specific. We are going to round to the hundreds. Why the hundreds? There's no real reason. It's more just like they want us to round to the 100. And I'm going to quickly talk about rounding. And I'm going to have two ways of explaining rounding. No. Actually, sorry, let me rephrase that. I'm going to explain rounding, and I'm going to give you two methods to help you think about rounding, all right? First, I need to explain it. So what is rounding, okay? Now, rounding is when you have an exact number, okay? let's just say 2,487. Now rounding says, let's make this number more even. Let's make it 2,500. Now, before we go any further, I want to point out, what is this symbol I just drew? What is this? What is this thingy? What is that? Well, notice it is not an equal sign. This is not an equal sign, okay? This means about, right? 2,487 and 2,500, they are not the same things. They're just quite similar, right? So we're going to use this sign, which means they are roughly the same. And why 2,500? Why didn't we do 2,400? Can anyone tell me why we didn't do 2,400? You can unmute and tell me, because you know it'd be quite a lot of work to chat. Just unmute. Why are we using 2,500 and not 2,400?
Because it's greater than 50.
Yes, exactly. So when we are rounding, we look at the place we're rounding to. In this case, we're rounding to the hundreds. We look at the one to the right. This is going to be the indicator. We are going to look at this number. If it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 0 as well, then we round it down. So this number would be a 4. So if this was a 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, our answer would be 2,400. However, that is not what we got. Our answer was actually 5, 6, 7, or 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, and then we rounded up to 2,500. And then now going to the two methods. The first one you can say is 4 or, wait, no, how does the saying go? It's 5 or more. Go to the next floor. I think that's how the saying goes. And then it's like 4 or less. No, I think this is just it. Yeah, if it's more than 5, then you go to the next floor. And if it's like 4 or less, I don't remember the exact saying, but the point is you can remember it this way. Or you can also think about it. Just this isn't a way to remember. This is more of a way to think about it. This is spaghetti. Okay, I'm not a good artist, but let's pretend this is spaghetti. All right, and then I'm gonna. What looks like a meatball? This does not look like a meatball. I would not eat that meatball. This looks like a meatball. Yeah, let's eat this meatball. Okay, so yeah, I like this meatball. Okay, so we have a meatball here. Actually, this does not look. Sorry, guys. I got to make sure my spaghetti looks good. Okay, so we have tomato sauce. Yes, we have tomato sauce, and now we have a meatball. So this meatball cannot balance here. It is going to fall one way. All right. So let's just say we haven't even placed the meatball yet. Okay. So depending on where we place it, it's going to go to a different side. If we place the meatball here, it's going to roll down to here. If we place the meatball here, it's going to go over here. Right. That's how I want you to think about it. And if we place on the middle, on the meatball on the center, right? If we place the meatball on 5, just keep in mind that if it's on 5, we're just going to give it a little push so it can go all the way down. That's a way that teachers helped me remember it when I was growing up, right? So now we're going to do a quick question about rounding. There are 487 books. Round off of the number of the pages to the nearest 10, which should be easy. Send me these answers. Oops. Yeah, all right. 2 questions, and we are going to have, okay, great. Great job. All right, so Marcus, you have the correct answers for both, but from now on, I just want everyone to get into the habit of putting units on, because you might have teachers who make you put units. So just get into the habit of putting units behind everything. Good job, Alan. Good job, Alex. And once again, and good job. Yeah. Just gonna wait for a few more answers, and then we're gonna move on to approximations, which is like the next level almost. Good job, Valentina. I love the formatting. Great job, great job. Just making sure, Claire, we are rounding to the, for question 2, we're rounding to the nearest 100, not the nearest 1,000. So you have the correct answer for 1,000, but we're looking at 100. I do appreciate the units though. Moving on, seems like you guys all have the hang of it. Wait, why am I making a new page? We're gonna stay on this one for now. Extending the page. The question is, estimate the value of 2934 times 6. 2,934 times 6. Now, I would like to make sure everyone understands, we are not multiplying the numbers immediately. If we multiplied the numbers immediately, our answer would be, we would get 17,604. There, I did the question and we're done. No, we are not. No, we are not. That was a lie. We cannot just multiply these two because we have to estimate it. The reason I was able to do this is because I used a calculator, right? But they do not want you to use a calculator. They want you to estimate this in your head. So roughly, what would this become? So I would like to see what everyone puts for that. Excellent, Alan. Good job, good job. Yeah, so seems like people are getting the hang of this. Yes. Alex, you're a bit off, and I'll explain why in a sec. I just want to quickly go over this. So when we estimate this value, what we're going to start off by doing is make this easier. So we have 2,934 multiplied by 6. We can solve this, right? But it's difficult to do. So we are going to estimate this, make it easier. We're going to make it 3,000 times 6, okay? And then the answer to this is, of course, 18,000. So our answer would be 18,000, okay? Now, we're just going to do another one of these estimations. I'm just going to type it out. Where is text? Text is here. Estimate the value. Divided by, just making sure everyone understands, a slash is the same thing as a divided sign. To clarify, 6 divided by 4, these two are the same thing. We're just writing it in different ways. So I'd like everyone to estimate the value of this question here. And when you finish that off, we can do these questions as well. Yeah, so we have a huge batch of questions, and when we finish these questions, we are going to move on to a different section. Looks like you guys are stuck on the first question. The first question is a bit difficult, I will give you that. All right, so Alex, I don't really think your answer is an estimation, right? You did it quite precisely, and like you don't have to be that specific, because when they say estimate, you can be off by quite a bit. So I think, yeah, what they want you to do here is they want you to make it something easy to do work with. They want you to not just round it. No, we don't have to round. You are going to go all the way to 5,600. Believe it or not, you're going to do 5,600 divided by 8. Now, why 5,600, right? Why not 5,400? That just seems like the easiest way to round. Well, I'll tell you why. The reason we're doing 5,600 is because 56 divides cleanly by 8. 56. 56 divided by 8 is just a simple 7. And then we tack on the 2 zeros to get 700. So, yeah, 700, great. It's just a lot easier. So when we estimate, we're going to try to go to a value that's easy to work with. In this case, we're going to do 5,600. Is it the correct answer? Like if we were just finding the value? No, it would not be. The correct answer would be something with fractions, because this isn't cleanly divisible. But for estimation purposes, we're just going to use 5,600 because that is incredibly easy. Say a lot of answers. No less 12,000. Yeah, so great. Alan, one of the answers, I feel like you could have done something slightly different, but yeah, this all works out. Yeah, this is all great. Yeah. Estimation problems are a bit weird because you can like, if your teacher marks you wrong with something, but sometimes you can like even argue with that because like, you can't really be wrong with your estimation. Your estimation could be 701 and it wouldn't be wrong. How did you get to 701? Nobody knows how. 701 is weird to get to, but it would be a reasonable estimation, right? So this is a more arbitrary subject, which means it's a bit more draw the line at different places. And by the way, when we finish these questions, we're gonna do a few different ones. I'm still waiting for these to, so I'm not gonna do anything just yet, but keep in mind after this, we're gonna do a few more questions and then I think we'll be done for the day. Very good job, Alex. Marcus, that is correct, but I want you to actually add them together. So you would end up with 12,400. So yeah, good job, but we can actually get a bit more specific almost, or not really specific. It's more like you just to end up solving the expression that you have. Oh, yeah, Claire, I see the mistake. Yeah. Yeah. It's a bit weird. They number it like A, B, C, D, E, F, but like back and forth. Yeah. I get the idea of what you're doing, though. So good job. Marcus, that's very nice, but oh wait, you meant B. Yeah. Sorry, my bad. I read that wrong. That's great. You don't actually have to write down the expression though. I don't mind if you do, right? Go if you want to do that, go ahead, but it's a lot of work. You can just write the answer if you want. It's much simpler. You don't have to do that much work. It's fine. Yeah, like if you do that, it's fine. But ooh, Valentina. Valentina, that's great. You got all the exclamations, but I'd like you to actually solve them. But I know you can solve them, so you don't have to. Don't worry. I think everyone has sent me the answers to the top one, so I'm gonna scroll down a bit. If you're still working on the top ones, here you can see them still. I'm going to copy and paste the next section info. Yeah, so yeah, so these ones are kind of just a repeat of the ones above. Yeah, Valentina, for this one, I'd appreciate it if you solved the answer for these these ones. Mhm. Claire, just a reminder that D is a subtraction, not a addition. But yeah, seems like you had the correct estimations. Mm-hmm. So that is a whole boatload of them. Good job, Alan. Yeah, those are good estimations. Just a quick tip for everyone. The people who are solving these questions faster generally have more broad estimations, right? So one person might estimate 99,000 and one person might estimate 100,000. Neither one is really more correct than the other. It just kind of do whichever one's simpler for you. Yeah. Now, I don't think anyone's doing this, but just making sure, just pointing it out. When you solve the question of this, you do not add them. You don't add them and like whatever this number is, and you don't round it. You round both of these first, or estimate, I guess, and then you add them. It's much easier. So I don't think anyone's doing it once again, but if you are adding both of these, getting some complicated number and then rounding it, you don't have to do that much work. All you have to do is say, this is maybe 6,000. This is maybe 6,000, so it should be 12,000 total. That's all you really have to do. Looks like everyone has finished the top section, more or less. Yeah, I'm gonna make the bottom one a bit bigger in case you can't not see it. Excellent and excellent. I believe Alex sent me back for this. Oh yeah, he did. Great. Great. Okay, so yeah, we're on the bottom part now. I just wanted to quickly ask, oh wait, I can figure this out, I think. I'm gonna see if I can just find this. Okay, so Alex is this person. Just checking. Is MI Life? Is that Claire? Claire, is MI Life you? Or M1? I'm not really sure which one what this is.
Yeah.
All right, great.
Log in on a different computer.
All right, that's great. So all that matters is that everybody is how do I put this? Everybody is inside of the Google Classroom, and class is after we all solve these problems, I'm just going to explain some stuff about the Google Classroom, and then we will be done for our first day. I'm just waiting for, what am I waiting for? Yeah, I'm just waiting for yeah, we're pretty much done. Okay, so I'm going to post the homework for today. Why is this paused? It says my screen share is paused. Why is it paused? I'm so confused. Was it because I wasn't tabbed onto it? Okay, that's weird. Whatever. I guess I'll do this. Yeah, great. All right. And we are, I think we're done at this point. I assume Alex has like a big batch of answers he's about to send. Besides that, I will start posting this. Great. So I'm now going to start talking about the Google Classroom. All right. So 32 our next, when will we meet next? Let me see. When are we going to meet next? We are next going to meet on November 6th. All right. The instructions will be November 6th. Not before. All right, great. So the instruction, so the homework for this week will be okay, so I would like everyone to go into the Google Classroom and then the classwork. Just make sure they have access to both the textbook and the workbook. If you have access, then just in chat send like a yes, I have access or something along those lines. All right. Marcus, do you have access to the Google Classroom? All right. If you cannot find it, I will explain how to find it now. What we are going to do in Google Classroom, yeah. So you're going to click onto classwork, right? There should be a tab called classwork, and then you'll see options for both the textbook and the workbook. And Alex, can you find it? Marcus, does okay mean you found it? Not really sure. All right, great. Valentina and Alex, just gotta make sure you two can see it. So class is basically over, so I'm just gonna quickly explain what the homework is gonna be. So I'm going to post the homework. I have not yet posted it. It'll be posted within like 5 minutes, probably. It'll be pretty quick. And the homework for today should be, I'm gonna give an estimate of 20 minutes this week. So what I just need to make sure Alex and Valentina can find it, but the rest of you guys can go after I finish what I'm about to say. So just make sure to check the Google Classroom in like an hour or so. All right, yeah, Valentina, you can go. Wait, Valentina, can you find the workbook? All right, if you can find the workbook, then you can go ahead and leave. I just need to make sure Alex can find it. The rest of you guys, just make sure to check the classroom in like 1 hour or like 20 minutes. I don't know. Just make sure you have the homework done by next week. That's it. You guys can all go though.
I could find it.
Alex, did you find? So you found the workbook and the textbook?
Yeah.
All right. So I'll post the homework soon. It'll be in stream and classwork. You'll see the homework. Just do the homework by next week, and everything's good. Okay. No, you can go then.
What was the homework again?
I haven't. So the homework I will post. It isn't shown yet. Just like in like 5 minutes, just reload the classwork because I'm typing it up right now. It'll be up.
Thanks.
Yeah. Good. All right. Thank you. See ya.